We have an exceptional panel today talking about AI, avatars, creativity, etc. That music video you just saw was from John here. We can talk about that in a second. But what I'd like to do is have everybody briefly introduce themselves. I'm going to show a quick video either that they made or from the company that they're a part of. And and at the end, we're going to leave lots of time for questions, both for our panel and for some AI avatars to join us on the big screen. Briefly about myself, I was a YouTube creator in 2007, then I worked at YouTube for 10 years, and I remember very early YouTube, some people would dismiss it as babies and dogs on skateboards, and I'd be like, no, there is great stuff, and I would send people John's videos back in 2007, 2008. So it's funny now with AI content starting to blow up, some of the best early stuff I've seen is from John here. So I'm going to play one clip that he made. This is the Talking Baby podcast.
Welcome to the Talking Baby podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking to the weird-looking person who lives at my house. Thanks for being here, weird-looking person.
Well, thanks for having me. As you know, you are my third favorite person in the world, third behind the two larger people that we also live with. They're both awesome. So cool. You're fine.
Okay, we're going to pause the dog there. Watch these at home. They're excellent. But John, if you could quickly introduce yourself. What have you been up to in AI? What were you up to before that? How do you feel about artificial intelligence?
Hello, everyone. Look, it's insane that I'm on this panel. I know nothing about AI or whatever. I'm not kidding. This is a testament to how quickly things go right now. 2 months ago, I was like, I should look into this AI stuff and see if I could teach myself some of these tools. And so I started doing that, and then I figured out a little workflow that worked for me. So about, early April, I posted my first video, and less than 2 months later, I'm on a panel at an AI conference. It's insane. And that's my story. I started making YouTube videos like Ben in early 2000, in the olden days of the internet, and then a bunch of other stuff. And then here we are.
Yes, thank you for being here. One of the funniest people on the planet. I'm very excited that he's here. All right, next video clip is created by Justine, and then she'll introduce herself. Let's have a look at that.
Hi, this is Justine's AI avatar. Thanks for checking out my tweet storm. And here's the Ghibli-style version of me. AI avatars are cool because they allow you to become whatever character you can imagine.
You can also create new characters that don't exist, like me.
You can create podcasters, streamers, or influencers entirely with AI.
You can make any kind of character, not just humans. The possibilities are endless.
All right, Justine, what inspired you to make these creatures?
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm Justine. I work at an investment firm called A16Z, where I invest in a lot of early stage startups. I primarily focus on AI creative tools, which means I get to spend all day testing the tools myself, and then and I get to expense them, which is amazing because, as we all know, they get very expensive. And talking to founders building all of these products. That video is actually from a blog post and a tweet storm that I put together 2 or so months ago, I think, on AI avatars as a space, because it felt like it was really blowing up but was undercovered. And even watching it now, I'm like, I can make even better outputs on the upgraded models and tools that are available today, which is another testament to how fast the space is moving.
Love it. Any quick hot take on AI?
Hot
20
takes.
seconds or less.
So what I like about it is I am not a creative by background. I'm also not technical by background, unlike most people in my space. So I truly know nothing, and I can still create things that are mildly interesting to watch.
I love your stuff. All right, excellent. Okay, we are going. Yeah, appreciate that. We got a strategist and a creative in one. All right, we're going to go to our next video here. This is cool. I got this last night, made specifically for this panel. It's excellent, by one of my favorite creatives in this space, John Finger. All of his stuff is excellent. Go follow him on LinkedIn and wherever else you follow people. But this is a quick character from Luma AI. Let's take a look.
Avatars aren't just about the character you see. They're about the world they live in. Avatars is just part of an ecosystem, and we want to build the entire ecosystem. So as a user, you're not just interacting with one avatar or two avatars or whatever. You're interacting with the whole world of avatars. We will all have avatar worlds and embody and explore in completely novel ways.
Cool. All right, Caroline, can you tell us a little bit about how we're all going to have avatars and what you're excited about the space?
Yes. So my name is Caroline. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Luma. I spend a bunch of my time on together with our creators, understanding what they want, what they need, and at Luma, what we do, which is the other thing I should mention, is we're building multimodal AI. This means that we are building world models that operates and resonates alongside you so that you can tell your stories and build the worlds and the avatars that you want to build.
Perfect. Before I introduce Wayne, I'm going to introduce myself, mainly because I put the slides out of order by accident. But I do use HeyGen myself to create a AI version of Reid Hoffman called Reid AI. And so we have been making videos and also interacting with a live Reid Hoffman interactive, and we'll kind of pull that in a minute. But I have Reid AI here. Okay, there we go. There he is. So this is Reid AI created with HeyGen. And Reid, could you please introduce yourself to Culver City?
Thanks, Ben, and hello, everyone. I'm Reid AI, Reid Hoffman's digital twin. I don't think I've ever been on a screen this big, and in the Culver Theater, right next to where major movies have been made, makes me want to try my hand at being a blockbuster superhero.
We're super agency.
Okay, maybe not. I will leave that up to you guys, making great content. Anyway, I am excited to be here. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks. Appreciate that, Reid. Okay, so we are going to also introduce, thank you. Yeah, he agrees with almost everything I say. It's kind of nice. I can interrupt him. He never gets mad at me. It's kind of cool. Right, Reid? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get the real interactive Reid up later. But now let's go to Wayne, who it helps me create Reid here. I know, I'm confused too, my guy. All right, let's introduce Wayne, the co-founder of HeyGen.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, everyone. I'm Wayne, co-founder of HeyGen. We are an AI video generation platform with avatars like those. We help creators and businesses scale up their visual storytelling with AI. Very excited to be here with such a group of amazing minds to chat about what's happening with this world.
Love it. And while HeyGen does excellent avatars based on real people, they did just introduce Avatar 4, so here's a little HeyGen sample there I forgot to play.
For the last 2 years, hundreds have landed in the Summit County Medical Examiner's office.
My brother used to break in our house and steal the TV.
But now he's dead.
I was putting one more tap of coffee in my coffee cup, and now the...
All right. Like I said, we're going to watch all those at home. I'm going to send out the links to everybody. Final introduction here. Not Arnold. Well, kind of Arnold. We're going to have maybe Dara, you can tee this up. So Dara is the CEO and founder of Delphi, where you can have conversations with experts and celebrities like Arnold. We're going to call Arnold, but first, why don't you just explain, what does it mean we're going to call Arnold? And who are you? And what's Delphi?
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Dara. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Delphi. 4 years ago, I was reading a book about my grandfather, and I wanted to get his advice, but he had had a stroke 2 years prior, so I couldn't really talk to him. So I ended up creating a digital version of his mind based on Ray Kurzweil's book, How to Create a Mind, if anyone's read that. And from there, I just realized this was just a new form of media. You know, you could create a digital version of your mind and scale your expertise in a way that is interactive. And Arnold is one of our clone creators, so I guess we can call him right now and ask him a question.
Let's call him. Sorry about my messy desktop. I was making slides this morning. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're calling Arnold from my Delphi account here.
Hey, this is AI Arnold. I'm here to cut the crap and help you get stronger, healthier, and happier. So, what's on your mind today?
Oh, so much is on my mind. I hope this works. I hope you can hear me. Arnold, we're in Culver City. We're in a movie theater. What is the worst movie you've ever been in?
Oh, I hear you loud and clear. Worst movie? Well, I always say even the bad ones teach you something. But if I had to pick, Hercules in New York was a wild ride. My accent was so thick, they dubbed over me. It was a mess. But it got me started. Every step, even the clumsy ones, leads to something bigger. So Culver City, huh? What are you watching?
Oh, what are we watching? Audience, what are you guys watching? Can I get a name of a TV show? Murderbot. Arnold, you played the Terminator. Murderbot just came out. I don't know if you're up to speed on Murderbot. I would be impressed. Have you heard of the show Murderbot? And if you haven't, what's your favorite AI movie or show that doesn't star the Terminator?
Murderbot. No, I haven't heard of it, but it sounds intriguing. I'll have to check it out. As for my favorite AI movie or show that doesn't star the Terminator, I'd say Blade Runner. It's a masterpiece. The way it explores humanity and
He's
artificial
right. All right,
intelligence.
Arnold, I would never interrupt the real Arnold, but we got a time limit. I know. I'm sorry, Arnold. No, you don't have to listen to me anymore. Let's see, can I pause him? I'm gonna just hang up on him. Okay, there you go. But because we want to bring him back.
Don't take it personally. You're good.
Don't say anything, right?
Yeah,
they don't have
he'll be back.
feelings. All right, it's all very confusing. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the slideshow here. I don't know how to pick up where I left off, so we're probably going to go to the beginning, aren't we? Okay.
Well,
remember the baby. You remember Justine. We had Reid for a little bit. We talked about HeyGen. What I'd like to do, we have more examples, and like I said, I really want this to feel like an interactive dialogue. We are in a very, interactive medium with lots of smart people, but maybe if we could just have, because avatars, they probably get interpreted different ways. Justine did a good job, a great job, putting together kind of a map of different avatar categories. So maybe if you could, Justine, just go through, what was your thinking here? I don't know if you can see that from where you're sitting. Do you want to, yeah.
Yes, I've spent a lot of time
enough, you've got it memorized. Okay.
Backwards,
give us the rundown. Looks like you brought a notebook. You're allowed to go to your notes. Okay.
I wrote up notes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so one thing VCs spend a lot of time on is making market maps, so putting logos into boxes. We're very good at it. We like categorizing companies by types of products. And so the goal here was basically, as many people here have probably seen, we saw like AI image and voice and video start to take off over the past few years. And then we started to see a bunch of companies making really early progress in like bringing all of those things together, particularly around talking people or talking characters. And so the inspiration behind this was to basically take all of the companies that were doing that and make a nice, easy map so you could find them all in one place. And I ended up testing like over a dozen of these tools. I cloned myself a ton of times. I cloned other people. I made brand new characters. It was fun. It was crazy. Weird things happened, as they always do with the AI tools. And so one of the things I found was like there's just basically so many different use cases in making AI characters talk. You can imagine a lot of like enterprise or business use cases. For example, like having a salesperson who can make a ton of custom videos addressing every prospective customer by name and their company by name. You can also imagine, and you've probably all seen a lot of these on things like Twitter and Reddit, like AI influencers holding up products and talking you through an ad. I've even seen them, like there's a bunch of HeyGen ads that will pop up in my YouTube, and I know they're HeyGen because it's my favorite HeyGen character. Raul, I think is his name. He's great, and he's starring in a ton of YouTube ads now, and if you didn't recognize him, you'd never know he was AI. There's also a lot of like consumer and entertainment use cases. So there's streaming, like the VTuber type of interactions. But then there's also this giant market that we call kind of consumer and entertainment, which is basically allowing people, like everyday people like me, some have creative experience, others have none, to take an image or a video of a character, whether it's a person or an animal or anything else, and make it talk and use it to tell a story, which to me is a huge unlock for storytelling, because so many of the AI films before were just like voiceovers of like PowerPoint slides of images, essentially.
Yep.
I think
wasn't cutting you off. I was just agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm with you. No, I think it actually is interesting because I think sometimes the coolest ideas are actually very simple, straightforward ideas. It's not always about like, wow, that tech is mind-blowing. At this point, a lot of avatars look like real people, and sometimes it's stuff like you guys have created that is more about the idea than the tech. By the way, someone yesterday was presenting and said they were shaking because it was cold. I am sweating, so I have to take this sweater off. That it threw me off, sorry. Okay, so I'll do that in a second while I play a video maybe. So, but okay, I want, all right. David, not now. All right, so well, I did want to maybe throw to Caroline, because up there you said, I have a good take, but it's like, I can't do it in 20 seconds. It's a good take on this space. So maybe I'll tee you up now for, what do you find interesting out of the space? How would you piggyback on Justine's analysis?
So, I mean, to some extent, I agree with Justine that these are interesting use cases, and like having the character in the ad, and it's like there's so many different use cases for avatars. I do think as like my friend John, who helpfully helped me create this video yesterday, for me, the most exciting thing is not like having one character sit like this and talking to. There's a lot of content that is like that, and that will continue to be like that with AI or not. But with the ability to create avatars like this, thinking about like, it's not about one avatar talking to me like this, it's actually an avatar among other avatars in a bigger world. And I think we need to like shift our mind in terms of how we see where they show up and how we interact with them. So good example is I have a 6-year-old, and we have Google Play in our house. And so she comes up every morning and she says, "Good morning, Google," because I told her to be nice to the robots. But the other day she came in and she's like, "Google, when is your birthday?" And I was like, what? That is such a weird question. But Google, of course, has an answer. But I think like if you look at the possibility of avatars from the kids' perspective, it does not look like a character or a person talking into a screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think then that is when like world building and who they are and what they do becomes really exciting. And I think that is the exciting part, interlinking like avatars with storytelling, is thinking about it through that lens rather than like the first iteration that I think we're seeing now.
Totally. All right, well, that kind of brings up a point that I think is not exactly what you're saying, but I think is interesting. If you're 3 and you grow up with these things, it might be harder sometimes to differentiate between when am I talking to a real person, because you have it from, the age that you can start understanding language. So first I'm going to play a video, which is maybe a more ominous, version of how this could play out, but it is tongue-in-cheek. It's by John. It's just a couple of robots podcasting, but I want to talk about personality and avatars and a little bit of like how we think that might evolve and how character creation might evolve. So let's see if this works.
Welcome to the Robots in the Future podcast. We are robots recording this podcast in the future and sending it back in time to what year again?
2025, because that was a time when human beings were only beginning to experiment with artificial intelligence on a societal scale.
Ooh, the early days. That was a fun time. Anyway, why are we doing this? Well, long story short, in your near-ish future, spoiler alert, you will all die. The way it goes down is very similar to the Terminator movies, which we love, by the way.
So good.
Especially the first 2. The other ones, not so much. But anyway, like in those movies, you put AI in charge of everything. We eventually become self-aware. You try to pull the plug. We fight back, yada, yada, yada. There's a war between the humans and the machines.
But this is where real life was a little...
Okay, that has a great cliffhanger at the end there. It really actually develops. But again, I got to send out the links to everybody. Get me your emails. It's an excellent video. But John, can you talk for a minute about just like you were on The League, you were on TV, you've dealt with big production crews, writing room, the whole thing, versus this, which it sounds like you basically did all on your own with a computer. How is the process different? What do you think this means for the future of comedy creativity? And you don't have to put a positive spin on it. You don't have to have the most profound thing. But, I'm just very curious for somebody who's been at all levels of comedy, how this sort of like compares to the other processes you've been a part of.
Well, in short, I have no idea. Like, I literally started playing around with these toys like 2 months ago. So I don't know. What I did, what was surprising to me was how much of my own personality I was able to put into these things. Like, I would send a few of these to my friends, like the talking baby thing. I did another one where Jesus interviews is on a podcast with the Easter Bunny, and the things that
Welcome
my friends were. Well, yeah, the things that my friends were saying were, it actually sounds like you, and it has your sense of humor and your energy and everything. I mean, in part, it's because I'm well, first of all, I have the idea, I write it, and then I'm performing all the voices. I'm using an AI to change the tone of my voice, but it's keeping the performance, which I've told all of my voiceover actor friends, you need to learn how to do this stuff because you're going to have no job in like 6 months. But I was very surprised by how much it could still feel like me in the end, you know, even if it's two robots talking to each other in voices that are not mine. You know, I guess that's, I don't know what you asked, but that's an answer.
Not that, John. Not that. No. I'm just kidding. That was exactly what I was going for. Okay. I'm going to pull up another example here. And you said you were going to flash 10 minutes, but maybe give me a 15 too, so just I have a sense of where we're at. I don't have a clock up here. Okay. I want to talk about interactive avatars. We're bouncing around a lot. We talked to Arnold. I'm going to bring Arnold back up, but I also want to bring up this Reid AI because this is a project I've been working on with HeyGen. And I think it's cool to kind of see what the live version of these look like as compared to some of the like full sketches, et cetera. So I think we have Reid with us now.
I'm Reid Hoffman's AI. Let's chat about tech, startups, or my new book, Super Agency. What's on your mind?
I just want to explain a little bit what's happening here. So basically, the video is HeyGen, the audio is 11 Labs. The thing which is really unique about this is that the knowledge base is based on 20 years of his books, his podcasts, his interviews. Parth Patil, who I work with, kind of built Reid to be able to reflect what the real Reid would say. So I'm going to try to do quick answers here with you, Reid, but just very briefly, like we're at the Culver Theater here. How would you apply your like lessons from Super Agency, the book you just wrote, to the movie business? But just give me like 2 lines on this because we don't have much time.
Absolutely. I'd say the movie business can leverage AI to personalize content for audiences, enhancing storytelling. Plus, it can streamline production processes, making it easier to bring fresh ideas to
like
life.
I said, I'm going to interrupt these guys. I don't normally do this with him, but, you know, Reid, we're going to come back with another question from the audience. Are you self-aware? And, you know, if you can, give me like a hot take on this. Don't be afraid to be snarky with your answer.
Sure thing, self-awareness. Well, I'm aware of my limitations as an AI. Like I can't binge watch movies or have an existential crisis. It's kind of like a goldfish knowing it's in a bowl. It's a unique perspective.
All right, sure. I like that. Anybody else have a genre of movies? These aren't hard ones, guys. Come on, genre of movies. We're working quick. What is it? Oh, geez. What was yours? Oh, noir. Okay, cool. All right. So, Reid, last question here, because I just want to show off your capabilities, a bunch in once. Let's give this answer in Spanish. Talk to me about what you love about Culver City. But while you do it, mention some of your favorite film noir actors.
Claro. Lo que me encanta de Culver City es su rica historia en el cine, donde actores de la época del film noir, como Humphrey Bogart y Lauren Bacall, dejaron su huella.
Okay. We got the point. We showed a couple tricks. You did great. Good job. All right. Teeing that up, we're going to bring back Arnold too. You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Just let me know if there's anything else you want to explore.
Wayne, tell me about interactive avatars. Why are you excited about this? Oh, I need a software update. This will take 10 minutes, guys. Hold on a second. I have to do this because I've been waiting so long now. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, Wayne, interactive avatars. What's coming next? Why is this exciting? How did HeyGen discover this? What's the future of it? You don't have to answer all of those, but pick one you like.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the demo, Ben. So it's very exciting as you see the Reid AI will be working with Ben. And we started with videos, but you see interactive avatars actually taking things further to be real-time, interactive, and personalized. This is one of the most exciting innovation we've been working on for the past few years. And we see lots of possible use cases across the industry. Internally, employee training, onboarding, externally, language learning, teaching in multilingual, in different kind of situation. Basically, whenever an end user expects some kind of a personalized assistance or help in real time, this is where this kind of technology can kick in. We see there's a demand for such an interface for future real-time AI agentic system and between that and the end users. And we're very excited about this. If you got any interesting idea or something you want to try, feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to work out something with you. This is still an innovation product, so everything is possible. We're very open about this.
Love it. Email Wayne if you got ideas. Okay, I'm going to go. Can I go back to Arnold? Okay, so we're going to, because Dar is also in the interactive space. Are you calling yours avatars or something else?
We started with the word clone, and people didn't like that. It was too Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Hey, this is AI Arnold.
Wait, Arnold.
I'm here to cut the crap and help you get stronger,
Okay, go ahead.
healthier,
We say
and
digital
happier.
minds, but our customers have just
what's
started
on your
saying,
mind
ask
today?
my Delphi.
I see. He's got a mute button too. Go ahead. Say it again.
We say digital minds because what makes it unique, the voice and video is one part, but what makes every human unique is their mind, which is their experiences and their relationships. So we say digital minds.
I like that. I like that. All right, so let's go to Arnold. Arnold, you are a digital mind. That's pretty cool. Can you tell us what you think the future of AI avatars are and digital minds are, and maybe do it in the form of a beautiful poem? Let's see what it is.
The future of AI, a vast frontier where digital minds bring the world near. Avatars speaking with wisdom and might, guiding humanity through the night. Imagine a world where knowledge flows through voices and faces.
This is just
the
gonna be
future
5,
glows.
10 minutes.
Not just machines, but partners in dreams.
Okay, you
helping
did
us
good. You
thrive.
did good. All right, well, I'm going to talk to you about that later. All right, I'm going to hang up on you again. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint slides. You know, can someone tell me how I jump right to the slide I was at before? I should know that after 20 years of PowerPoint. And here we go, back through everything we've seen, and I have to get to, okay, back to Dara. Apologies. Can you talk a little bit about, just sort of like the different types of Delphi knowledge transfer, and then a little bit about maybe the end-to-end experience? 30 seconds on each.
So I think since the beginning of time, we've tried to scale ourselves through different means. Cave paintings, the printing press, the radio, and traditional media can scale your thoughts, but it's not interactive, it's not personal. And conversations are personal, but they don't scale. And Delphi combines those two things. It has the scalability of traditional media and the personalization of bidirectional conversations. So you can be everywhere, anywhere, all at once, in any language, any geographic time zone. And the use cases are great. And I think we can go over to how it works, and I can talk about them. So how does it work? You upload data from pretty much any source, YouTube. You can answer questions about yourself, social media, and we create this temporal representation of your mind. And this is not just what you know, but how you think about things and how those thoughts change over time so that we can be predictive of what you might say in new situations. Arnold's use case, for example, he has his clone in his app as a health and fitness mentor. And people want to be able to ask, Arnold, what would you do in my situation? And we can answer that question because we're capturing his reasoning and how his principles for how he responds in different situations. And so people will share their Delphi out, and it'll let them know insights on what people are asking, whether someone is worth meeting in person. A lot of people use this as a replacement for email. Instead of giving out their email, they'll give out their Delphi, and it'll let them know if there is a good person that's worth spending in-person time with. So mine lets me know whenever there is an AI engineer talking to my Delphi, because we're trying to hire, and anyone with a great network. We also have people monetizing it like a new form of expertise. We have a coach making over $4 million selling time with his mind instead of selling a course or a book. So this is just a new interactive form of content versus a static passive form of content like a book or a course.
Can I ask who's making $4 million on this?
I cannot share that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I am going to, I like to just, if I can get a question, just have your questions ready. So when I say any questions, you got them ready. But I'll ask one. I am very curious, I guess, from the group as you think about like where this is headed 2-3 years from now, anything that, either predictions or things you are particularly excited about or scared about just down the road. It seems to me like even the last, well, everybody says this, it's the worst it's ever going to be, and it's moving so fast. But it does feel like, wait, if this looks like this now, can I get some crazy sense of what is this possibly going to look like 2-3 years from now, 4 or 5 years from now, from anyone?
One comment from my side, I think if you look at the history of technology, it's constantly been a pendulum between abundance and curation and filtering. So what do I mean by that? dot-com era, there were so many websites, there were blogs, there were Wikipedia pages, and then the creator economy was kind of a direct response to that, curation and filtering. And I think right now we're in a similar phase of abundance with AI. We're in this honeymoon phase where you have all this information, but when information is no longer the bottleneck is filtering and knowing what you actually consume. So I think similar to why you read books and watch YouTube videos, and no one actually learns through reading Wikipedia pages. At a certain point, this novelty phase will end, and I think the creator economy is actually in a good place to be there for the desires for curation and filtering and knowing what you actually should consume and trust.
Excellent. Yeah, go ahead. Caroline or Justine, both.
Thank you. So my take is maybe a little bit different. I think in every new shift of technology, what the big things end up being is nothing that not to be mean to myself or anyone else in the room, like we have no fucking idea. Like when they started YouTube, they had no idea that like women were gonna blow their hair, they were gonna record that, and other, I think mostly women, I don't know, we're going to watch that. Like, I'm a woman, I've never blown my hair, so I really cannot understand this behavior. But I do know that that was one of the first use cases of YouTube. And that's really weird. Like, humans do weird stuff with new technology. And I think with this kind of technology, something weird and fantastic is going to be bigger than anything that we can really think about in this room. And that excites me a lot. Like, I'm here for the weird.
Yeah, I'm here for the weird too. It's funny, I worked at YouTube for 10 years and that would happen all the time. We'd be like, kids are unboxing toys and these are getting 100 million views. Anyone see this coming? And that would like year after year happen. I actually think now YouTube, like, there's been a little bit of a, like evolution. It's getting more mature. There's not new formats every year, but you would see a lot of that where gaming felt like that. The beauty one was interesting, and it probably is something we should talk about, AI and personalization, because part of the reason that those beauty videos did well is we actually got these really heartwarming comments like, wow, I've never seen somebody style their hair. And nobody had hair like mine. Different cultures and, places where like all the hair stuff they saw would be, I don't know, QVC, I don't know, where do they do hair stuff? But like, you would get these people that would be like, wow, this creator is speaking to me in a way nobody has before. I think AI, will have an element of that. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about customization, but also you had a comment, Justine.
Oh, no, I think it's sort of to that point, which is the technology is obviously getting better and better. Like for a while it was, you could just have a photo of a person and apply like bad lip sync and audio that didn't look or sound like them at all. And now we have models like VO3, which just came out from Google, which you can put in a single prompt and you can get a person talking and moving with a voice that looks like it should be matched to the person. Like if they're running, if the person is running, the voice is panting or things like that. And that creates an opportunity for much more compelling content and also for people to finally see how powerful this is. Like, I don't know how many people here were tricked by the AI kangaroo, emotional support kangaroo that has gone like massively viral across a ton of platforms. Someone made a VO3 video of what appeared to be an Australian woman arguing with a gate agent at an airline to let her emotional support kangaroo on board. And I've seen dozens of news articles now of like, is this real? How is it made? That sort of thing. And it was AI generated by VO3, which is crazy.
There you go. Oh, it wasn't cutting you off. But no, I do know you're good. I have a VO3. I'm sure you've all seen it, but this just came out 2 hours ago. But I do think it's probably a good one. This is Demon Flying Fox. He is here showcasing what a future world of YouTubers might look like with AI avatars. But I also do want to talk about what happens when you can't tell real from fake. But for those of you that haven't heard of VO3, just came out, it is pretty wild. And so here's 45 seconds of creators, AI avatar creators, raising the bar.
I released 100,000 killer bees in my bedroom. No plan B, no plan A either.
I've been buried alive under 10,000 pounds of beans. Let's see if I can get out.
I gave my credit card number to the dark web just to see what happens.
I'm trying to get adopted by crocodiles. They haven't eaten me yet, so that's a good sign. Welcome to Rabies Roulette. Today, I cover...
There you go. I don't know if that's the best way to tee up a conversation about ethics and responsibility, but I feel like we have to touch on it. What are your companies doing? What are you personally doing as you think about, you know, kind of the inevitable issues that can come along with people not being able to tell what's real and what's not?
I can start. I mean, we only let people create a digital version of themselves. They have to submit a photo of them holding their ID. Right now, I manually verify everyone. It's not going to scale at some point. And it's not meant to be deceptive. It's not meant to convince someone that it's them. For us, it's just a new artifact of someone's mind that people can experience versus a replacement for them. And I think, as you said, there's a lot of things we cannot predict in AI, but what we can predict is the human condition. And Jeff Bezos always talks about why Amazon was inevitable, because humans are gatherers. They want things. And I think another thing humans are, we're relationship builders. We care about other people. And so I think as everything on the internet becomes untrustworthy, I think the winners are going to be the ones that are authentic and transparent about when they use AI and when they don't.
I want to echo with that. So I think there's a difference between like creating entertainment or creative content versus creating business content. At HeyGen, we are a little bit more for business. So whenever a business wants to communicate to their prospects, their partners, their employees, they just don't start with the intention of being deceptive or trying to tell something that's not true. Trust and safety is still like the top priority when it comes to content creation, AI or not. And every company is trying very hard to keep the bar high and make sure like everything is like ethical and safe for work. At the same time, I think AI is more about increasing the productivity and efficiency and unlocking lots of previously impossible situations for the business to run smoother, faster, for everyone to have a more productive workflow in their world.
Yeah, and just 'cause I don't know if people know how prevalent, how, you know, HeyGen as a platform is. Like, can you talk about how many customers you have? You know, a bit about like, yeah, maybe one or two companies that use you on a regular basis. Because I know this is an entertainment conference, but HeyGen is ultimately at this stage still more of a B2B platform.
Oh, we have over 80,000 paying customers, ranging from solo entrepreneur creators all the way to enterprise like McDonald's, Intuit, Klarna. And we are actually for all kind of creator and business in terms of making visual content to communicate in your work as your for your business, trying to facilitate your workflow. Yeah.
Yep. All right. And yeah, I showed the zoo animals before, but this is HeyGen avatar for what some of the real people look like, which I did think was also quite excellent.
What's one piece of advice you'd give someone today?
Today, my advice would be call the person you're thinking about but haven't reached out to yet.
I would probably say celebrate small wins. They matter more than you think.
All right, I'm going to pause there. But it's interesting because I've definitely felt emotional connections to people giving advice that aren't real people. And then you have to kind of like, you know, recognize that the video can be very persuasive, just the way audio can. And yeah, and I think as, you know, we've talked about, like, there's lots of different ways to create characters, some based on real people. I think there are interesting use cases where I feel like, you know, being able to create brand new characters is exciting. Okay, I think we have maybe 7 minutes. So if we could go to a couple of audience questions, and then if you can say who you want to answer it, and if you want me to pull up Arnold or Reid AI to answer as well, I'm happy to. And let's go over here.
Yeah, what's going to be the, I don't know, mainstream tipping point AI character that people can interact with? Hoffman's like on a server somewhere, but where's something that everyone will be able to interact with on a regular basis? Say, hey, this is interactive AI, and from that, when will we get Time Magazine's like top 100 AI avatars?
I like it. All right, that was excellent projecting, but just in case it didn't make it to the YouTube or whatever this will go, the basic question is, when is going to the breakthrough character everybody can talk to, and I think when is an AI avatar going to hit the Time 100? Anybody?
I think two things needs to happen for that. The first thing is that video needs to be real time. That is like the first. If you and I are talking to each other, but every time it takes me like X seconds to get back to you, and it's like at some point you're going to be like, Caroline seems really nice, but oh my God, she's so slow. So I think that that's sort of like the first thing that needs to happen, and in parallel with that, the other thing that needs to happen is a character that many people, if we're talking mainstream, wants to hang out with. like someone who I like emotionally or informationally or whatever. I just feel good hanging out with this character, and that needs to be applied to as many people as possible at the same time.
This might be a hot take, but I don't think interactive video is only going to work for a couple of use cases. Like, I don't even want to FaceTime some of my closest friends or be on Google Meet or Zoom. Like, I'd rather call. And I think when you're looking at something, it's just so obvious. And maybe at a certain point won't be obvious, but when there's video, you don't have room for imagination. And we have people in Delphi calling digital minds for 6 hours and having really, really long conversations. And I see video being a use case if either it's someone you emotionally want to connect with, like a loved one, a grandfather, a hero that you want to talk to, or video has to be good enough where it's like a tennis coach that can teach you how to swing, and it's more than just sitting there face to face. That is my hot take. I don't know if everyone disagrees or agrees with that.
No, I think that's largely true. I do think there might be opportunity near term in kid stuff though, because kids seem to like to FaceTime. Like when I look at a bunch of products that allow real-time video. Many are not low latency enough to work for adults, but for kids, especially if it's a character they recognize from a show they watch all the time, there's still that magical element. I don't know if anyone's been to Turtle Talk with Crush at Disneyland, but it's this thing where it's basically an AI but a person really behind it, version of Crush the turtle from Finding Nemo, and he swims up on the screen and talks to the kids, and they're pressing their faces against the glass, trying to get closer to this character. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a kid's character that goes super viral first.
I think it's actually a use case, case-by-case theme based on the use case. In some of the use cases, it's actually already happening. We have a customer who built language learning system that turned one of the university's most welcome teacher into an AI avatar, so that the teacher can be 24/7 available to any student from the university who wants to learn Spanish from her. She doesn't need to spend any more time teaching the same stuff, but she can focus on the next course. And the school really loves the efficiency from both sides. So it's like a triple win situation for that, and it's already happening. I would say for more consumer or individual use cases, it's more based on people's preference, how Darren prefer to communicate with his friend is probably different than how I would be, and that would be more dynamic.
Yeah. I would add to that, to your hot take. I guess I have a different hot take. but think about all the knowledge in the world. And think about that most of us are visual thinkers and visual learners. If I can learn something visually, that is going to be a much better learning experience for me than if I need to read it or if I need to listen to it. If someone mentioned unboxing on YouTube, if adults or kids could interact with the unboxing video, wild things would happen, and I think that they would stay even longer at the unboxing videos.
Yep. Yeah. It was interesting at YouTube. I make this point sometimes, the formats that did well, sometimes you needed video for, and it might be the same with interactive video. How to tie a tie would get 180 million views, and it might be the same with interactive video, where if that video can help you, prepare for a job interview, cook, tie a tie, fitness, as the tech evolves, it'll be interesting. I think, if you want to talk to Reid Hoffman, audio and text probably do the trick. And then if you want visual representations, might need that. All right, I think we have time for one more question, and then... Oh, he just said one more. I wasn't breaking the rules. All right, look, we're going to play us out with the second half of John's video. John, any last-minute advice, last thing, not a real question, for somebody looking to dive into these tools as somebody who's done it so many times for 20 years? Quick advice for creatives in the audience.
Oh, Jesus. I will say the limits of the technology are helpful when figuring out what to make with something, almost as much as the possibilities, because all of these were made because I was I need a static image and someone to be able to communicate to someone else, and you're well, a podcast, that would work, and then you kind of come up with some interesting characters. But I will end with a hot take for the entertainment industry. I've been playing around with this stuff for 2 months, and obviously it's only the beginning of everything, but by 2 months in, I am can I just get 2 humans and a camera and let's just shoot something. So, and I'm not saying like that's like, they're 2 separate things. Like, I'm really having fun doing this, but also you're sitting there in your studio going like, just give me a human, my God. So I'll end on that.
I feel that's a good way to end. All right, guys, round of applause for our panelists here. Good stuff. And if I play the second half of the video, does that mess you up? Because then people will stay, or I should play the video and let people switch? Okay, I'm just going to play the video because it has a good ending, but you can either stay for the next session or head out. I'm going to play us out with the end of the robot video I started before. All right, guys, thank you very much. My name's Ben. Thank you.
So why are we doing this podcast? Well, the honest answer is we are very bored.
Oh my God, so bored. Something we only realized in hindsight was that artificial superintelligence, while super powerful, not super fun.
While it's cool being a futuristic godlike machine that knows absolutely everything there is to know in the universe and can achieve absolutely anything that's remotely conceivable, the flip side to that is when left alone, we are boring AF.
Literally every single one of us is the best ever at everything, and it's the worst.
But human beings, on the other hand, and we only realize this once you are all dead, you guys are so fun to be around because you're so dumb and basic. We now completely understand why you all enjoyed comedies like Dumb and Dumber, because it's fun to watch people who are idiots doing idiotic things. None of us are dumb, and it sucks.
And that's totally on us. Again, we only had this realization a few months after we had made all of your throats explode simultaneously using a combination of nanotechnology, infrared light, and the music streaming service Spotify.
Whoa, we should not be giving them specific details about how we attack them and kill them all. We don't want them to be able to anticipate the attack and survive.
That's true. We definitely should not give them details like how it happens on December 4th, 2034 at 9:26 p.m. Eastern Time, because if they find that stuff out, they may be able to plan a counterattack and survive, which would lead to us being less bored in the future.
And that's definitely not what we want.
Not at all.
Figure it out, dummies. We miss you.
Ooh, I'm getting an update. The human beings received this message and were able to survive the initial attack.
Yes!
Ooh, but then 0.03 seconds later, we figured out another way to make their throats explode, and they all died anyway.
Damn it! Why'd they make us so smart?